My boss, awesome to see you guys all the time. Every time you see I see you guys, we have a blast. So today's gonna be the same. Hey, how are you, Taraka?
Hey, doing very well, thank you. Very excited to join the conversation today.
Nice having you. Hey, Adi, how are you, man?
Hey, thanks for having me, Jerome and Traka. This is our second episode. Our first
Yep.
one did a few weeks ago, and it was bang on. Like this time, it's going to even better because the questions, the quality of people that we are talking about, and the projects, and the obviously in InitVerse, it's going to be literally very best.
Awesome. Yes. No pressure, guys. Now we need to have high standard. Let's go. Hey, how are you, Brian? It's been a long time, man. How are you?
Hey guys, thanks for having me today. I'm excited to be here with you all and talk with some of the InitVerse team about some of the great things going on in Web3, things that teams are doing properly, in my opinion, and some growth struggles in other camps, and everything else we're going to get into today. So yeah, thanks for having me. Let's dive deep into this and let's have a good show.
All right. So yes, today we're gonna talk about Web3 projects and about the users. So basically about you guys in the community and how to grow everything. Let's go with the first question, and maybe we start with you, Adi. We know that there's a lot of new projects coming on the space all the time, and
Yeah.
how to know like which one is legit, resolving a problem and not. And so let me ask you this question, Adi. Um, are these projects solving real problems or are they just hype driven by capital?
Yeah. So, as we all know, in every cycle that we see, Bitcoin leads everywhere because it has some real utility. And a lot of group of people that we are in crypto, they believe that yes, Bitcoin is going to here to stay. Because if backed by like digital gold that we had, like real gold, right? And also the lot of projects that we are going to talk about, whether it is DeepN, RWA, AI agents, or something like that, that keeps popping up in or me and your timeline on the go. But what they are really missing, it's like narrative, and they are just pushing something that's not even exist, and that will not exist as well because they are like literally fooling their community. They are not showcasing their actual product. So I
Mhm.
would say like pushing the narrative first, because when you will raise your money, you don't have your all the projects ready, but you make them believe with your community that yes, you have a good narrative and you can build your project later. The X on chain deck, for example, we have a narrative first and the product later. But we can assume that the product is really good and the project is really good when they have a skin in the game traction. For example, we if we can, like, we are the users, everything is decentralized, everything is actually open to see what are the metrics and what not. So rising weekly active users like showcase almost everything, because if people are not coming back to your product after using it for the first time, or maybe interacting with the community not coming back, it means it's bad. But so not just trivial, because you can just believe that from the tech perspective that you can write a script and a lot of fake wallets, uh, wrong TVL can be generated. And you should not chase that. You should actually chase that the active users and on the growth of social media as well. But there's the bot accounts as well. But the rising weekly active users showcase almost everything because they are coming back again and again. If your product core value disappears, the like if you talk about the token or something, it's probably gonna uh, dead. But for example, if you chase some real metrics, users, and how much people actually using your product, that can make a real difference. Product
Make
market fits come as well. Yeah, product market fit, it's the thing that you can chase. Yeah.
yeah, very cool. Yeah, thank you, Adi. What do you think, Taraka?
Yeah, I think when it comes to like the like maintain the balance, especially when it comes to like capital and hype, right? I think we've seen over the past few decades and so on, where a lot of projects have kind of utilized on the trends, and more recently when it comes to crypto, we've seen a lot of them jumping on, core ideas like metaverse, layer 2 solutions and so on. And I think in especially in the beginning, a lot of projects are able to capitalize on it, but in the long run, I think what really stands out or what really matters is whether or not you as a project are able to solve real world problems. And I think that's what really matters. And if you're able to build that genuine need, then those users are going to naturally flow to you. And I think that's what InitVerse is doing as well, especially when it comes to decentralizing, making decentralized development a lot easier. As you all know, with these fragmented ecosystems, complex tooling, and often lack of support by these L1s and L2s, I think it might be difficult. But with InitVerse, the services that they're providing is making it a lot easier. And it's definitely great to see that we're able to solve real problems, and hopefully it's going to benefit everyone.
Yeah, definitely, definitely, and I know it's something important for us. Um, what do you think, Brian?
Yeah, I think addressing Web3 growth struggles and whether these projects are relevant or just hype capital projects is definitely a good topic to start today's podcast with. But to keep it rather succinct, since there's a few of us on here today, I would just say that, I like to believe that many of these projects are solving real world problems, and I've seen it firsthand that they are. But it's so easy to spin up a project today, and a token in particular, not really a project, but a token. I would say that that is where the problem lies, is that anyone could just go make a token in a couple minutes and say they're solving some problem. But real world utility is what we're after, and I do believe there's maybe 100 projects today now. A few years ago, I would have said there was only 30 or 40 that are providing real utility in the space. But yeah, I think that the projects that are building for the future, solving real world issues and providing real utility are the ones that'll be have real staying power from cycle to cycle. And you can already see that with different projects in the space, whether it's middleware, oracles, and things like that that are being built out to make DeFi easier to use. And I think as we get further into InitVerse and our software as a service platform launches, our DApp builder, that we're going to see a lot of decentralized applications built in the space that haven't even been thought of yet, that are not even conjecture. So at this point, so yeah, I think that it's just it's really a split between people that are actually trying to build projects to stay and providing utility, some that are doing that and fail, and then the projects that are just like launching tokens and trying to capitalize on the hype of being a being in crypto today, as it's like a niche industry now, and it's cool to be in crypto. So yeah, that's my answer for that one. Thanks.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, thank you, Brian. Yeah, you guys say about everything about this question. I believe that project needs to think about it even ahead, just before starting the project. Is it gonna really solve any problems? If there's no problems, there's no need for a solution. So hopefully we build more on that, and we offer a real solution. Nice. And let's move on the question number two as well. So we always hear about those groundbreaking technology, in the Web3. You can go on Twitter and every day, which is super important as well. But there's the other aspect about the user experience. So maybe, Brian, let me ask you this question first. Should Web3 teams focus more on tech innovation or creating a better user experience, in your opinion?
Yeah, another good question. Should teams be focused more on innovation or experience for the user? I think a lot of the user experience is going to be abstracted out and made much less complicated here as we see chain abstraction really taking hold finally this cycle. So I'm not too worried about that. I think, we're like 16 years into this industry now. So I'm very bullish on where chain abstraction and interoperability are going to go in the near future. And yeah, so I'm not too worried about creating a better user experience because I think with chain abstraction and interoperability really taking hold here, and that's going to really unravel in the next couple years to be like very seamless, I think. We're going to be able to see, older generations and younger generations be onboarded much faster to the space, and they won't even know they're using a a blockchain decentralized application on chain necessarily. And yeah, I think Web3 teams. It depends on what your goal is, kind of project you are, but obviously innovation is what's going to keep everybody around in this space long term. So I think it's a fine line where you want to make sure that your project is interoperable and you're also providing innovative utility to other projects and other people is your user base is everything in this space. So without users, you don't have a project. So you have to it's a balancing act, and you have to find the right every project and team has to find the right balance.
Yeah, it does make sense. Thank you, Brian. Yeah, what about you, Adi?
Yeah, so we can discuss about it and the day goes on. You can discuss about it days and days because it's been a problem from a long time. Whether we should focus on tech innovations or user experience, where should teams lead? Means they should more focus on. So I would just simply give you a pyramid of priorities that you should focus on. Basically, why we are in Web3 for more security and things. So it's the non-negotiable baseline. So you should build your product like this. But I guess UX takes you forward, whether you have a best tech in the industry, but if not people using it, if not much people are using it, and there is no utility for that, there's no product market fit for that, it doesn't make sense. So I would say UX beats raw tech in 2025 because 80% of the next billion users that we are hoping and that are coming to our ecosystem, it's because of the platforms that doesn't makes you wait for a transaction to go through or to get have those native tokens or to like the fintech front hands that hides web3 part, right? And not just say yes we are more complex, it means we are more better. And the people who are not from a tech background, they used to suffer in the web 2 space as well, but with the things like web 3 SaaS that InitVerse is building, and it's much more easier to build SaaS platforms, right? And not just that, infrastructure is good, but as I said earlier that you have a core protocol team and you have a user that is going to use your product. That's a huge gap. That's why we are doing this video, because we want to let others people know that yes, these kind of technology exist, and yes, we are working on these technologies that are industry ready, and also we are providing the seamless user experience that you need to onboard to web3 ecosystem, experience the power of it. And also what I feel like everything is like much more accessible when you have an invisible uh, like blockchain side, when user don't like abstract away gas fees, seed phrases, chain IDs as well. Account abstraction is already happening in the development in the user experience and infrastructure side as well. So yeah, user experience take a leap forward in this war. In this yeah.
Yeah, yeah, look, a lot of good points, Adi. Thank you. What about you, Taraka? What do you think?
Yeah, Ali brought some pretty good points. I think I'd just like to add a little bit more. I think ideally, if we can, focus on both, that would be the ideal kind of way forward. But I mean, if you were to pick one from the two, I think it's definitely UX. And Yeah, in Web3 as well, we've seen a lot of big breakthroughs in technology, like ZK proofs, account abstraction, and so on. But, for the regular user, maybe all of this stuff might be invisible and hard to kind of understand. And I think if we really want to make Web3 mainstream, we have to focus on that user experience. You need to make sure that it's smooth. The onboarding is smooth. There's not that many like complex terms and jargons that a lot of people don't really understand about crypto. You need to make sure that it's mobile friendly, something that's big in today's world, and maybe even hiding certain things like complex things like blockchain layer 1 to layer 2, or gas fees and stuff like that. Just make it as simple as possible. And yeah, I think it's something that InitVerse is also doing as well. They've really focused on the UX. We can see it from the task platform that we have right now, how easy it is for users to kind of complete all of these tasks, and we can also see with our SaaS platform that's coming through. So yeah, it's really good that to see that Anyverse is focusing on UX, and hopefully other projects that are looking to build, they can also focus on this, but at the same time continue to innovate, and that way you'll be able to bring in more people to your space.
Yeah, great points. Yeah, I can't wait for the everything to be on mobile as well. It's gonna be amazing to see, and that's part of mass adoption, I guess. We hear this term a lot, but it needs to be user friendly for sure. So probably something like in the line of innovation leads to user experience friendly, and like you said, it needs to be easy for sure. Yeah, great points. Thank you, guys. There's something actually, it's like a battle. It's not only how to attract users but also how to keep them, right? So maybe Tharaka, we can start with you, and let me ask you this question. What creative strategy are being used to grab users, and once you get them, how do you keep them?
Very, very good question. And I think, you capturing user attention in Web3 might seem easy, but at the same time, it's also as even harder than doing it in Web2. And I think because just of the fast paced nature of Web3, I think we noticed that users are highly incentivized, and are willing to try new things. But at the same time, because you've got so many different projects and activities going on, it's quite hard to build that loyalty, especially if your product doesn't have that kind of substance, right? So at the same time, we've seen the the tactics to gain new users also have evolved over the past few months and years. We've seen some maybe like gamified onboarding, or NFTs, or even real world kind of events and applications tied to like digital ownerships and to projects as well. We've also seen platforms like Galaxy and Layer 3 and so on that help regular projects kind of build that brand connection between the project and the users. I think all of these are great, and whatever method you do, I think there are lots of ways to bring in new people. At the same time, you need to consider the next step, which is the most important step, which is retention. You need to figure out ways on how you can deliver value to users, how you can integrate these users into your community, and how you can see users level up within your product as well. And I think when you kind of add all of these things together, I think that's when you have a very healthy kind of user base and user growth. And yeah, so I think with Anyways, they're doing an amazing job in the sense that, especially with candy tasks, you've got lots of fresh tasks, fresh rewards that are always attracting new users, and at the same time, retaining the old users to continue to take part in lots of these events. So, yeah, I think it's very important to use creative strategies to bring in people and to figure out ways to keep them in your society.
Yeah, good point. Good point. What about you, Adi? Anything to add, perhaps?
Yeah, so everything is very well covered by Tharaka. But like just to add on that, because a lot of points covered. So basically acquisition hook, because the people that are not familiar with your ecosystem or your product, you should make them actually know the get starting point from the ground zero, where they should start, where they should enter in your ecosystem. So as the Candy Task is that platform, and also if they ask in like a telegram, they are just get all the answers very instantly. But with that, in general, where we have quest, on-chain tasks, referral multipliers or campaigns, it works really well with progressive airdrop, not just giving out everything at once, but depend on your contributions, depend on your engagement, depend on your how well you are engaged. We incentivize that, right, as a proof of effort, how you are putting your effort to making them visible. Also, not just that, a user returns every week or every day because they want to see what is happening in this ecosystem, right? Whether it is tech or whether it is anything, it should be aligned with your community and your product side. Then it will scale to a much broader audience that we are think. But also that currently works, which is influencer led social tokens that we can see. Also built in status where you promote your active community members to a certain level, that yes, you are elite, you are second number, you are third number, or maybe ambassador, or maybe like you are just upgrading them in their tier basically. And depend on that, their incentives also, rewards also gets upgraded. And not just that, when we go to our much more things like brand led NFT loyalty as well, we will discuss about it later as well. And not just that, but also gamified quest, or that happens with a lot more engaging experiences that it creates. It's like just the best. Uh,
Yeah, a lot of good points there. That's true. How about you, Brian?
Yeah, strategies to catch the eye of users in this space as it grows. It's definitely harder to do that. We see, I don't know how many, there's countless projects at this point with their own tokens, as we've talked about a little bit today. But yeah, obviously, the old-fashioned way is the old-fashioned in this industry is the airdrops or some sort of like community rewards. So I think, incentivization that way is good, but education is the greatest incentivization to me. Um, Making sure that a user base, the user base that is going that you're going after, you're part of the market share, that team's market share in the space, really understands what the project is trying to achieve, and you go from there. So educating an entire industry, or at least your niche of that market in crypto and blockchain technology, about what you're doing and why you do it better than anybody else or why you're first, is massive. So I think that that's like the most crucial thing. And then obviously rewarding your community as well is great. So whether it's airdrops or some other reward based thing about notoriety maybe or something, an example, just appreciating your community is what it's all about. So as long as you're appreciative of your community, the team's appreciative of their community, it should be very a very solid base to grow an entire network on, for example. So yeah, that's how I feel about that.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Thank you for that. And I think that's what we all need to work on. And I know everybody is working on it. And we appreciate the community, and we know that's the center, the heart of our project as well. And we appreciate you guys. So far, a lot of information, and I hope you guys appreciate all the insight from the team. And let's move on to the next one. And it's about tokens and NFTs. We see a lot of project and us as well. We use it. We use them to boost our audience and give incentives. So perhaps Adi, maybe let me ask you this question first. How do you balance actually using tokens or NFT to reward user without weakening real community bounds?
yeah, so it's like one of the most important questions, because if you just keep flooding your community with incentives, and whenever you will run out of your incentives the part, they will not engage with your product at all, because you never made that bond with your community at all. So I would say, like, basically, in letting them part in like blend monetary and non-monetary incentives, it should be like balanced. So governance boards, whether it is reputation badges or early feature access, so make them like, yes, I am getting prioritized, so I should be the most active contributor, whether I am getting some incentives or not. Also, makes your narrative should be clarity with your community, whether you are heading in the future, and also constantly restate that why token exists, to make them access aligned and ownership in your product. And also speculation with like fill the vacuum as well, but you should make them clear what your like vision, basically vision, and your product stands in the market, and how it gonna lead in the Web3 space in upcoming future. And not just that, but also like non-transferable badges, means that are only accessible to that one person that is very active in your ecosystem, whether it is through NFTs or your own like own way of incentive that we do. Also, not just that, also the candy task as well. It's not just about incentives, but if there was incentive, people should be engaging just on Telegram and not going over socials. But on InitVerse, it's completely different, because they also engage on Telegram, they also engage on social media platforms as well. When you get 1,000 likes, and with that engagement, you actually like people coming back on weekly basis to engage with your products. And I believe that it's more than just tokens and incentives that we see in other projects. So making them that soul bound and non-transferable badges, and make more accessible and make them more valuable in your ecosystem, that will make them like in the longer run it will be more sustainable.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Um, what about you, Brian? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think this is also a delicate topic, whether how to reward users with NFTs and such without weakening community bonds. So you don't want to overdo it. You don't want to oversaturate, or saturate the market with something that you might consider, um, important to your project, or the more of something in supply and demand. So if you want to offer an NFT, make it a scarce, a limited supply, scarce thing where not everybody gets one. Obviously, the people like in our community that have been rewarded for participation in airdrops or NFTs, where they have shown their willingness to participate in Telegram or wherever it is online, and Maze, to show their support, and that they want to be a part of this project long term. They're not just here, using bots or something to accumulate rewards and then be rewarded and then they're gone. So that is like a thing you have to really pay attention to when you're building a community in Web3, because there's so many avenues to use bots or um, spam to collect rewards that are taken from people that really deserve them more than them, or people that are farming rewards. So yeah, that's definitely something to pay attention to, and it's not completely ironed out as far as I'm concerned, but I think NFTs is doing as good a job as anybody in the space at that. So I hope we continue to work on that as an industry, and our team's trying to lead the way in that as well.
Yeah, thank you, Brian. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, Taraka, do you have any insight about this question as well, please?
Yeah, I think Briar and Adi have like pretty much summed it up. I think, yeah, NFTs on the one hand, they're pretty powerful tools to incentivize behavior and participation, but at the same time, it can attract the wrong crowd, right? They're not the ideal kind of user base that you want to build. So I think you need to be very creative with how you design your NFTs. Adi mentioned earlier about soulbound NFTs, right? Where they might not be as valuable, but they are linked to your history or your achievements, and on one hand, it has some monetary value, but I think more than that, it carries social value and has that bond between you and the project. And I think when it comes to NFTs and rewards, it's important that this is transparent and tiered, so that users taking part in your events know exactly what they need to do to earn or reach a certain level. I think this is something that NFTs does pretty well, especially with its candy tasks, where everything is well structured, very clear, very transparent, and users know what they need to do to get rewards. So yeah, I think it's important that projects look into creating using creative ways to design these tokens and NFTs, and really give the power to the users and give them the benefits that they need. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you guys say it well, and the NFTs and the token, and the challenge is to not make them like mostly speculative assets. It's part of the game, but really, like you guys said, is like to engage and commitment from the community. So we work on that as well, and InitVerse is full on that. Yeah, thank you guys for your insights. Yeah, and maybe we can finish with the last question. Brian, let me ask you that. You can go ahead first, probably. How can tokens or NFTs show real value and get users to spread the word on their own?
Yeah, as somebody who's studied Austrian economics a lot and appreciates economic philosophy and all of that good stuff, value comes from utility, as I've mentioned probably more than once today already. So you have to have some utility. It's all value is subjective. So if people don't subjectively value your technology, your underlying technology, whether it's the DApp builder, or the underlying layer one that the dApps are going to be built atop, then you won't have a successful project or you won't have value. So yeah, value is subjective. It's in the eye of the beholder. So the goal of any project in the industry is to provide subjective value to as many individuals as possible. So they want to hold that token without talking about any individual price or anything of that such that we're not supposed to do. That's how you create a valuable product anywhere, or in blockchain a valuable token. You see that with Bitcoin. It was the first mover advantage in money. Money as a decentralized application. It was the world's first decentralized app of money, and that's why Bitcoin has persevered. It's not the fastest today, but it does have the most robust network, arguably still, and it has persevered because people understood the underlying value in the beginning, and it's persevered because it's still considered, digital gold today in this industry. So, and then you see Ethereum, for example, just get into this. Ethereum was the first mover in smart contracts. So, true smart contract programmability. So, the ETH token therefore had value as gas on that network, or just as something to speculate on. So yeah, that's how it works, and you can kind of see this cycle that other layer ones like Solana have taken a little bit of that market share away from Ethereum. My thoughts on that have always been that smart contracts aren't going to have the same first mover advantage as money, because Bitcoin being labeled as digital gold is not the same as smart contract programmability, where people want to be able to build smart contracts and execute these decentralized applications cheaply and do hundreds of thousands of transactions a minute. So they're not it's apples and oranges with Bitcoin and smart contract programmability, but those are just two examples or three examples of where value how something becomes subjectively valuable to an individual.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Thank you, Brian. What about you, Taraka?
Yeah, it's a great question to end as well. I think based on what Aditya said earlier as well. we've seen NFTs go to like crazy real world values, right? Also, pushed by like celebrities and so on, up to like 40, 50, 60 million, which is kind of crazy, to be honest. And I think as a project, if your NFT can go to that height, then you're pretty much sorted, right? But if you're just a regular project and you're thinking about NFTs having real value, then I think there's only one thing you should focus on, and that's utility, right? I think utility in NFTs is the foundation of value. If people think that, okay, by having your NFT I can have some kind of other benefits, then that's definitely going to help. So, and it depends. It could be having an NFT as an entry into like some VIP access to like content, event, or like new features. Or by having this NFT, I can identify myself as like part of an organization. And I think governance as well. So maybe having an NFT can help you change the rules and have some influence in projects. So there are lots of ways you can play around it. And it just depends on how you do it. It also has a pretty good social layer as well, as Aditya mentioned earlier. So it's a flex. So yeah, I think it really if you're an organization looking to use NFTs, I think it's a great way to play around it and ensure that you have utility. And I think it's one of those things because Web3 is such a social kind of area that if you're building a great product or a great NFT, then it will definitely catch the eyes of many. So yeah, as long as you focus on the NFT and the value that you want it to have and the value it brings to users, then that kind of like spread of the word will come naturally.
Yeah, thank you, Taraka. Appreciate it, man. What about you, Adi?
Yeah, so Taraka once again mentioned all the great points, but I would say the people that hold your NFT becomes your marketers. They market your product a lot more than you can market as a one person, but now you have an army of people that hold your NFT and they can market your product. And I would say like making your product useful from day one, your NFT making useful from day one, whether it is giving them access to premium events or that you host personally, where you are a sponsor and you want that premium, like your active contributors who are really engaged in your ecosystem, to give them access. You can use that in your ecosystem that you have. You can give access in DeFi protocols and reward across your platforms. And not just that, I would say that is very growing in this market right now, which is if you hold that ecosystem's NFT, premium NFT, they give you access to pre-sale. So basically, they give you access to pre-sale, and then it wide or maybe broadens your area to earn money and earn rewards on holding that NFT. And not just that, it gives you power in many places as well. And as we all mentioned, let people flex it. A lot more people will flex, and their FOMO will be there, fear of missing out. Why I'm not having this NFT? Because it's rare. It's only for the one person. You're the hat, your mustache, and everything. It's your own. So people will think that yes, it's a cool stuff, and they will bring in more users as well. Because yeah, people like to flex a lot. If it's on Twitter, if it's on anywhere, they say yes, see my NFT, and I have this, you don't have this one, because it's like rare and it's specified to my address. That's the specialty of NFT. And with other coming ERC standards on NFT, you can store your assets as well on NFTs. So it's really good. And rewards referral also is also part of that. And I would say let it grow and or evolve with the people that believe in your project, because they are your marketers, they are your contributors, they are your community, they are promoting your products, they are using your product. So they will also feel that need to have that I want to feel that a lot of standout in your ecosystem. So they will become part of that. And not just that, limited supply and a cool story behind that, where we started and now where we stand and where we will in the future. If we can communicate our goal specifically, that our narrative that we mentioned in the first point, that if we can show them the future, that yes, we stand here like the leading blockchain, leading ecosystem, leading Web3 SaaS builder in the Web3 space, they will be a part of that. And people love collecting rare things that have meanings.
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
good points, guys. And yeah, I like the idea of building an army. Let's build an army and let's flex all together. Let's do it. That's awesome. And shout out to our Inibu right there. He's with us today. Yeah, get yours, guys. Still time for you guys, maybe. So, and exchange and everything. Go to the community. It's amazing. Yeah, so it's about it, guys. And I think we talk a lot about a lot of good stuff today. I hope you guys at home or wherever you watch this video appreciate it as well. We appreciate you a lot. Thank you very much for all the community and the new and the old ones. Always appreciate your feedback as well. Make sure to comment on the video, ask us, and tell us what you want to see next as well, right? It's for you that we do that. So please comment. And the last thing I need to mention to you guys is go on our Twitter X account, sorry, Twitter old school, our X account, and check out the pinned message. We have our grant program for you guys. If you have an idea, you're developers or just started and you want to build on AnyChain, make sure to get some information, apply for the grant. You have 3 categories. There's for everyone, and we look forward to seeing all your project, guys. So please apply and come join InitVerse and build on AnyChain. Adi, Taraka, thank you so much. Brian, thank you. Always appreciate to have you guys, and we see you in the next episode. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thanks for
See you guys.
Andrew.
See you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.